You know that phrase, kick a man while he's down? Well, right now, that is every single Manchester United fan. The breaking news going across the bottom of your screen is devastating for every single Manchester United fan. We heard that there were maybe possibly injuries, but AMAD Diallo out. AMAD, yes, AMAD, our most effective player this season, out for the rest of the season. Done, finished, season over. Devastating news for all Manchester United fans. I thought after Ruben Amorim was speaking yesterday, maybe we'll hear about one or two players that could have an impact on Manchester United. You've got AMAD there at least. You've got players there, hopefully, that are going to be able to do a job for Manchester United. And we hear news a bit later on throughout today. We were introducing a few youngsters because maybe there's doubts over Manuel Ugarte, Kobbie Mainoo, Toby Collier, players like that. Okay, right, all right. We've got an exciting young crop of players coming through. That was all completely washed away because AMAD Diallo now is out of Manchester United's side. 3 months minimum. That is the full season, no matter which way you look at it. He's got to recover from it. It can only be ankle ligaments for it to be 3 months out. It's absolutely gutting. It is right now probably the worst I've felt as a Manchester United fan since Sir Alex Ferguson left. And there's been some horrible moments in there. There really has. But right now it just feels like all hope has gone. And all I'm waiting for now is this silver lining or something else to come through from our academy. Someone just grab the bull by the horns and give us something. This is as bad as it gets. You cannot get any lower than this right now for Manchester United. You cannot do it. It's impossible. What else can go wrong? Manchester United's injury list has gone from respectable and expected in the players like Mason Mount and Luke Shaw and Johnny Evans. Let's be honest, we're never going to be relying on them players ever at Manchester United because of their injury records. It's gone to them 3 being out, to 9 first-team players out. The news is there. Chris Wheeler was the one who broke it early doors for Rizzo Romano's coming as well. AMAD is set to miss the rest of the season with an ankle injury. He suffered the injury earlier in this week. He is expected to be unavailable for the next 3 months, taking us right through up until the end of May, which, as we know, is the end of the season. Absolutely catastrophic for Ruben Amorim and his plans. There was one player there that had learned what Ruben Amorim wanted from him, understood what Ruben Amorim wanted, and he has gone. There are lots of people that are probably going to come back and say, stop doom and glooming it, stop looking at the worst case scenario. Well, look, I'm sorry. I'm looking at where we are in the table right now. I'm looking at everybody else absolutely destroying it. There was one hope and there was one little shining glimmer of hope this season, and that was AMAD Diallo, who was shafted by Erik ten Hag, was shafted by the club before, stood up to everything that this club was and how badly it was being run. Ruud van Nistelrooy got a hold of him. Thank you, Ruben Amorim, for mentioning that in his season turning around when Ruud came into Manchester United. And then got his new contract, everything looking ahead. As soon as his contract signed, bang, season over. Lisandro Martinez out. AMAD Diallo out. Some would say our best defender and our best attacker now missing for the rest of the season, in which we're already in the midst of our worst ever in the Premier League era. Ever. What else can go wrong right now? Honestly, I don't know. I'm lost. I'm lost for words in terms of our look at the moment and what's happening. And compounded today by network rail strikes, and Manchester United can't even get a train down to London. We're on the coach. Idiots are like that, aren't they? Oh, hey, coach is cheaper. We'll be all right. We don't have to pay for first class on Virgin. Oh, God, honestly. I was just like, I looked at it before. I looked at Kaz and was like, is that right? Because she picked up on a list of injuries and I'd missed it because I've not been well today. I just dosed myself up this afternoon. I was just going to do my normal show later on, but I dosed myself up feeling really under the weather. I think it's just United, to be honest. And then looking at a list of injuries, because we knew that news had come out about Kobbie Mainoo, Toby Collier, Manuel Ugarte, Collier and Ugarte being doubts for the game. Mainoo out for a few weeks. I'm like, oh, God's sake. Right, okay, right, where do we go from here? It can't get any worse. It can't get any worse. Oh, my God. Anyway, she said, what's AMAD Diallo? Ankle? So we'd skipped a few tweets, and I was like, wait, what? AMAD Diallo? AMAD? Gone? Ankle injury? What are they talking about? Boom. Skipped up a few headlines. AMAD out, 3 months, rest of the season gone. I'm like, what? Are you actually shitting me right now? Can you please stop? I think I tweeted out on response to Fabrizio Romano, and not directly to Romano, just a situation. I just went, just F off now. Like, seriously? Come on. But how does this happen? We've been crying out for training time. We've been crying out for gaps in between games. We're looking forward to February as a bit of a turning point. Ruben getting time to get into the players. Everybody coming through. We're hearing that there's some academy players coming in, working on the system a little bit more. Bang, instantly. As soon as that happens, we've got injured players everywhere. And now it has turned into an injury crisis. There's no other way to describe it. It is a full-on injury crisis. So let's go through everything that's happened injury-wise so far. And so we know that Johnny Evans is out with a back injury. He's a long-time absentee. His season's pretty much done, and his career is over. And I don't mean to say that in any bad way. Thank you, Johnny Evans, for everything you've done for Manchester United in this little cameo 2 years that you've done. That's Johnny Evans gone. Altay Bayinde, unknown, has had a problem for a while, been carrying a knock, which means, sadly for us, we've got Andre Onana in goal. At least Onana can stay fit. That's something I'll give him. At least he's available. Mason Mount, thigh injury. Need we say any more about Mason Mount? Next to him, you've got Luke Shaw. Apparently now, Luke Shaw is an unknown. He's nowhere near fit. I don't think we'll see Luke Shaw this season. I'm just going to say that right now. They cannot fix him. It's as simple as that. He's a broken robot that just cannot be fixed. He's that old now, they ain't got the parts anymore to repair him. He's gone. So move him out of the way. Toby Collier. It's a bit concerning that Toby Collier's coming to the first team at 21, and this is his second injury already this season. This is his first major season, and Toby Collier has already been out twice. Concerned already with his injury record. What is going on there? And then you're looking at Kobbie Mainoo again. Kobbie Mainoo still hasn't had a full season fit. A 19-year-old who has had chronic injuries throughout his time in the first team already. I think we're going to start counting up Kobbie Mainoo's injury time on the sidelines as well soon, because if you do it, then it's going to add up significantly. And Kobbie Mainoo's first 2 seasons at Manchester United, I think you're not going to be far away from him only finishing maybe just over 1 full season in the games that he's been available for. Manuel Ugarte, gutted. Didn't think that man was breakable. Concerned that he has actually got an injury in the first place. I don't think he'll be out for long, and that is seen as not severe. Thank God. Then you've got Lisandro Martinez out till possibly 2026. That's what we're hearing for him anyway, which is a disaster on its own, and we know about his injury record. And now AMAD. AMAD being out of an ankle injury for the rest of this season. All of them players together, you've got 9 first-team players out for Manchester United who all could have done a job for United. If you can imagine right now the mood in Manchester United's camp. The players that should be available are not there right now. AMAD is the icing on the cake. It really is. And that cake tastes like shit. Honestly, that's what it is. It really does. It's so disappointing to lose him now, with him being the only player in our front line that has grasped any sense of what Ruben Amorim wants this season. That for me is the biggest concern, because players like that, with that mentality, with that attitude, they spread the positive vibe. They spread that around. Now there's nobody. Now we just look like a bunch of players that are really just coming together for the sake of it, just to fill the gaps that are in this squad. That's how it feels. And like I said at the top of the show, like, don't get me wrong, I'm really excited now to see the players coming into Manchester United in terms of the academy players coming in. I mean, you got Morehouse coming in, you got Kone coming in, you've got Chido Obi coming in as well. Harry Amass is coming through, and Harrison, the goalkeeper, is also coming into the matchday squad. 5 first-team spots taken by academy players for the game against Spurs this weekend. Hopefully someone grasps it and takes it and holds on to it and uses this as an opportunity. You never know. Someone may just get that boost by taking this first team opportunity, and we'll be away again, and someone else will take over as the next prospect coming through at United to give us a little bit of hope. But I just need to, and people saying, look, there's someone to replace AMAD. There's someone who can move into that position. Yes, there is, but there is no one of the quality of AMAD to take that spot. That's what we're talking about right now. AMAD has gone to social media, and this is the message that AMAD has put out on social media. Extremely disappointed to be writing this message in such a crucial time of the season. Unfortunately, I will be out for some time with an injury. I will come back stronger than ever. Time to support the boys from the outside. Still loads to play for. Well said, AMAD, and yes, we are gutted with you, mate. But every single Manchester United fan knows that this is more devastating than what you want to let on. Like, there are some people right now that are just calling the season off and it's saying it's all over. I get that, because let's be honest, it pretty much is. The Premier League season is over. United without AMAD, I don't know where we go. I honestly don't. It's going to be Bruno and Garnacho constantly in the 10s now. That's all it's going to be. It's going to be a mix between Xerxes and Højlund, and that's the rest of our season. That's it. Unless Chilwell comes in, and you've got young Jack Morehouse. You're hoping that one of these young players now can take this on and prove themselves. That's what you're hoping for. That's what you need, if anything, right now. But again, it's so much pressure on young shoulders to take this now and expect them to do anything. It's so gutting. It really is. And I just feel like now, I honestly feel like with the players that we're missing, like I said before, hopefully Manuel Ugarte is okay. I really do hope he's okay. Because Manchester United now, we haven't really got much left in terms of squad and depth and everything else. We haven't got anything there. And what we need right now is a bit of character and some first-team players to step up. Christian Eriksen, Casemiro. These players now are going to be crucial for Manchester United's season. Because if they carry on, and we carry on the way we are, without these players now being available to us, then we are going to be talking relegation numbers. We are going to be looking behind us rather than looking ahead. It's as simple as that. That's where United are at right now. And with AMAD and that key and that one player that threatens backlines and defences in the Premier League for us, like I said before, the one shining light, without him, we really haven't got anything. And I'm not over-exaggerating that. We haven't. We don't have enough. We didn't have enough with AMAD. And now he's missing for a season. We really are struggling. That's what we're up against. We really are. We're in the depths right now. We're in the trenches. And I don't know if we can get out. We're looking around. You're looking around that Man United changing room right now. Where are your characters? You've got players that have seen it and been there, and you're looking to them to be leaders, but they're looking elsewhere. This is done, season over. Are they going to start trusting in Ruben Amorim, getting right behind him right now because he desperately needs them? It all comes down to rotten luck and how the situation has been handled within Manchester United all along. You brought in Ruben Amorim. He's done what Ineos have wanted him to do. He has rattled a few feathers, he has ruffled a few feathers, sorry. He has definitely rattled a few cages. And everybody now, we know within this squad, and we know who the players are that are going to be leaving Manchester United in the summer. Them players we really need right now to see out this season. This season is huge still for Manchester United. As much as we're writing it off, United need something to happen just for the sake of next season. But now all of a sudden you're going back to your bench, and what have you got sat there? You've got Christian Eriksen who never gets used. You've got Casemiro who never gets used. And now you want them players to step forward. Where's their heads at? Are they going to be in full-on professional mode? Are they thinking, really, do I have to put my effort in for this guy now who clearly doesn't want me? Who's been trying to move me out since he's come in? That's the situation we're in now. That's what we're going to rely on. So, yeah, it's needs must. So what do we do when we're looking at this? Where do these young academy players come in? I think they go straight to the bench. And I think that's where we're at with it right now. Go straight to the bench. I'm going to get to some of the comments, actually, just to see where you're all at on this one. Let's check this. Palace are a shambles against Everton. Absolute shit. Yet against us, they were like world beaters. Shows what we are up against at every home game. We need fighting. We need leaders. Roll your sleeves up and get in. That's what worries me, Adam, that players are thinking the season is over and they're going on their holidays and leaving the club. Yeah, Peter. Chris says, a bit dramatic. I thought someone was unveiled. Amad's been average last couple of games. Ghana been stepping up, in my opinion, even though not many of you think so. The rest of the season is Ruben pre-season. Not dramatic at all, mate, Chris. I mean, seriously, come on, mate. Like, you just want to write the season off? As much as we bemoan everything that's going on and we don't see any light, we want to see these players actually giving a shit, don't we? And it isn't dramatic. It is basically, Amad is the one shining light in this team. Even when it was shit under Ten Hag, he was our best numbers man. And now even under Ruben Amorim, he's our best numbers man. He creates everything for us. I know Garnacho hasn't been stepping up. He's been doing better, yes, but nowhere near the level of Amad is. I completely disagree with you, Chris, on that one. It's not dramatic, and it definitely isn't a case of we can get by just and see this out as a pre-season. We need to win the Europa League. We need to be challenging the FA Cup. We need European football next season. Manchester United, like we've explained before, the financial situation is dire. We need something. We're literally in survival mode right now. And our best players are dropping like flies. So tell me what's not dramatic about that. It's an injury crisis of 9 first-team players all of a sudden over the space of 2 weeks that have now dropped out for Manchester United. Well, you could say an extra 6 on top of the 3 that we've always been dealing with on the sidelines. But yeah, 0 chance of the youth getting a game. Amas should have been given minutes at the beginning of the season, but we insisted on playing a right back at left wing back. Club is puddled. Yeah, I get that. I mean, when you're looking at it right now, obviously it's going to be Diogo Dalot in at left back. Then you're probably going to see Dorgu at right back, like we've seen in that other game. Maybe we'll switch it up. We've still got our wing-backs anyway. Let's look at that. We've still got cover at centre-back. Midfield is a bit of a problem for me. And 10s and creating anything up front is a problem. Defensively, as in the 5, we've got cover. We're all right now. We've got Dorgu, we've got Dalot. Whether you rate Dalot or not, so you've got Amas backing him up right now. I think that's why he's into the matchday squad, simply because we need someone else who can play on the wing. So that's why he's there. And Amas will do a job for United. He will. And maybe this is that moment. It looked like he wasn't getting in. Manchester United were bringing in Diego Leon. And that silver lining that I was talking about at the top of the show, all of a sudden, that could be your Harry Amas. That could be him stepping up in this time of crisis for Manchester United and taking the bull by the horns and going for it. You just don't know what is coming right now. All we know is what we've got in this squad and how much they've failed already. The best bits of that squad are out of the team now. And that's what we're struggling with. So, realistically, we are clinging on to the hope that one of the teenagers coming in from the academy can grasp what Ruben Amorim wants to do, where other first-team professionals, so-called professionals, couldn't. And that's why it seems a bit dire. It does. But the midfield is a bit of a concern for me right now. Obviously, no Agate, no Mainu, no Collier. That is everyone gone from our midfield. You've got Bruno Fernandes there. So I actually do think right now it's going to be Eriksen and Casemiro. It has to be. There's no one else there. I don't want to just throw Sekou Kone right in there. He could maybe get game time and come on off the bench. Maybe that's fine. Yeah, no problem. But again, it just looks kind of desperate for United right now. So it's going to be Eriksen, it's going to be Casemiro. I think obviously it's going to be Dorgu, Dalot either side. Your back three is going to be one of a few. You could have Mazraoui there, you could have Maguire there, you could have De Ligt, you could have Yoro, you've got Aiden Heaven. We've got cover at centre-back. I'm not, and I haven't been concerned there. We've got enough to see us through. Eriksen and Casemiro cannot play 90 minutes, it would seem. And luckily for us, the injuries in the midfield have come in the middle of big gaps in between games like we've been talking about in February. So that's been better for us. He hasn't had much game time, Casemiro. So that's a concern as well in terms of how long he can last in a game. Is he match sharp? Is he match fit? Are we going to get an hour out of him and then Bruno drops back in there? And then we're going to get Sekou Kone coming on and replacing the likes of Eriksen. Does Mazraoui step into that role in the middle? We're seriously lacking in numbers right now. I'm bringing no one in but Dorgu in the January transfer window. That will be highlighted. yes, but I still stand by the fact that Manchester United really couldn't do business, and they did well in standing by what they have done in the window, I feel. I don't want people to look at this and just say, look, we should have been buying people in the January transfer window for the sake of it. No, we should be sticking to our guns. This is just incredibly unfortunate for Manchester United. It really is. Andy says, I have written this season off and was fingers crossed for the FA Cup or Europe, but now I am thinking we are getting no trophies. Who is travelling strikers-wise? Someone answer, please. Xerxes, Hoyland, Morehouse and Chido Obe. They're your strikers. Morehouse isn't even a striker. He's more of a 10-type player. Wide 10-type player. So you've got Chido Obe, Rasmus Hoyland, Joshua Xerxes. They're your strikers that are travelling to Spurs. At 10s, you've got Garnacho, Bruno and Morehouse, pretty much. Your wing-backs, like we've just discussed then, you've got Amas, you've got Dalot who can play either side, and Dorgu who can play either side. So realistically, what you're looking at there is Dalot who's going to cover Dorgu and Amas either side, because he is the most match-fit player and the one who is probably used to it most in terms of Amorim's system. So whichever way you want to look at that in terms of in terms of Dalot's quality, it's needs must right now, and Dalot is going to see out the rest of the season. Easy. Zane with a super chat says, if I had signed Meredino like we did, you wouldn't have these issues. Our title challenge continues. Yeah, mate, come on. Even we could beat Leicester. So, yeah, don't get ahead of yourself. You got bigger fish to fry coming up, Zane. So, yeah, just calm yourself down. Thanks for rubbing it in. And cheers for the super chat, mate. But, yeah, I'm really not concerned with Arsenal right now at all. My biggest concern is right here at home, which is Manchester United. You're delusional, Adam. So Rick says I'm delusional. We could have bought loans in. We had no squad depth as it is. Still would have been better than doing nothing, knowing we need Europe. Loans? The right loans? Loans have worked before, haven't they? Yeah, remember Weghorst? Yeah, that one works, didn't it? That was a good one. Loans have never worked for Manchester United. They haven't. Remember Marcel Sabitzer came in as well, didn't he? He came in. He got 2 injuries in 6 months that he was here as well. So, yeah, there's no guarantee that a loan is going to work. And if the right loan is not there to be done, then it's pointless bringing someone in for the sake of it. Look, right now, honestly, I feel let's just see what these academy players can do. We've been waiting. We've been asking. And now we're going to find out. We're going to see what these guys can do. Because they are now, with this injury crisis, definitely going to get a chance somewhere. Raymond Maddox, welcome to the Members Club, gifted by London. Please hit the subscribe button, everybody. Get involved in the chat as well. We have got around about 1,000 in the room with us right now. Let's see, Mr. Dacia Sandero in the chat says, I knew it. Not only a key player, it's our main key player. We all know what's going to happen next. If we lose tomorrow, we will be in the relegation battle. Lads, you must fight for us now. Well, sometimes when the chips are down, your back's to the wall, you look at it and maybe this brings out some more character within Manchester United. Maybe this does bring out a little bit more fight in Manchester United. And you know what? When you've got like academy lads coming through in the middle of a crisis, I'm clutching at straws here, don't get me wrong. But you look at it and maybe some of these more senior players will like look at this and go, right, okay, we're needed. We're desperately needed right now. We have to step up. Yes, you do have to step up. There's nothing else to be said. All you're going to have to do now is do your talking on the pitch. That's all we've got. We ain't got anything else left. And it's do or die. That's how it feels. That's how it feels. No, Casemiro isn't going to be here next season. Neither is Christian Eriksen. But we are now clinging on to them two and the professionalism that they have got within them to actually salvage something for Manchester United. I just hope we don't start getting a little bit carried away and start playing Victor Lindelof in holding midfield or something like that. I really hope that doesn't happen. That is my biggest concern in all of this anyway. Adam, I'm really concerned for the academy players mentally being with this shower of shite. Yep, Joanna, I'm with you on that one as well. Like I said then, we need these players to step up and show the way for these young lads and help them out. That Muppet Rises says, when Ten Hag had all those injuries second season, he had no excuse according to some. Amorim should get no sympathy either and get the job done. It's a bit harsh, mate, to be honest. It really is. I mean, he was thrown in with players from Ten Hag's era that he ballsed up in buying who have clearly been no good and are not good enough. It's as simple as that. It's a different scenario and a completely different environment that he's walked into. So, no, I think Ruben Amorim does deserve more time, even with these injuries. It's not about getting the job done right now. It's about the long-term future of Manchester United. Unfortunately, right now, we're talking about writing the season off when we shouldn't be. We're looking at needing to win the FA Cup or the Europa League just to try and survive next season. And actually have some European football to offer players that we need to bring in the summer. I don't even know how much Man United are going to be able to spend now. It is a desperate situation, it really is. We have another poll running. As I say, we had the first one going, which was, do you think, what do you think of the new incoming youth players? Do you think they will get minutes tomorrow? 76% of you said yes. Keep voting on the polls. We've got another poll running right now. All drama aside, can United come away with something tomorrow? Sorry, I've just done a typo on that one there. But yeah, can United come away with something tomorrow? We'll see. Yes, 50%. No, 50% so far. I thought that one might be a tight one. But yeah, I think some people are clinging on to just a little bit of hope. Really annoying how Spurs are getting all their players back and Manchester United are losing all theirs as well. And it could be the third time that we lose to Spurs this season tomorrow if we do lose. How embarrassing is that on its own as well? We, after all the slagging off and all the critique that we throw Spurs' way for being Spursy, United could be looking at their third defeat in a season against Spurs tomorrow. We've already conceded 7 in the last 2. Please, just show some character, Reds. Give us something, because we are desperate for it right now. We really are. Ginger Fury says, what is our fitness department doing? Well, if it's an ankle injury, it's obviously an impact injury, or he's fallen. Look, the players have to train. They do. It's the muscle injuries that you really, really want to get into and find out. Now, I don't know what Mainu's is, Collier's and Manuel Agate's is. They're the other 3 injured players. I don't know what their issues are. They're all unknowns at the moment. But Ahmad's ankle, that will be an impact one. So I can't really hold that against anything that's going on at Carrington right now. But it's just really unlucky. That's what it is. Who's going to score tomorrow for United? Says Buffalo. No idea, mate. I'm hoping someone steps up from a corner, off an arse cheek, wherever. I don't care. Ricochet in, anything. I just want the goal. I just want the points. I want to come away from Spurs with something this season. Like I just said, it's going to be really difficult to handle losing 3 games in a season to bleeding Spurs. That will be devastating for all Manchester United fans. Jonathan Dayton is in the chat. Hello, Jonathan. I thought this manager was rotating players to avoid it. He has done, and we can't really blame him for this. An ankle injury is an impact injury, like I just said. I don't know about the other injuries yet, so I cannot comment on them. I've not got enough information regarding the other 3 injuries. But obviously, we've seen Lisandro Martinez was done on the pitch. Obviously, Luke Shaw, we don't know about him and we gave up. Mason Mount was done on the pitch. It's not like these are down to overtraining or anything like that. But, yeah, what we're really looking at is a bit of a backs against the wall, disaster class sort of situation right now. That's what we're looking at. So I feel like United, in this position, I still don't want to be putting in the youngsters straight away. I mean, actually, tell me right now in the chat, everybody. Are we going to be... would you put any of the youngsters in? So you've seen the 5 players that are going. One of them's a goalkeeper. So you've got Harry Amas for left wing back. You've got Chido Obe for the number 9. You've got Morales for one of the 10s. And you've got Sekou Kone for midfield. Would you play any of them players from the start tomorrow? Be honest now. Or are we playing the likes of, for instance, in midfield, Ericsson and Casemiro? In number 10s, you've got Bruno and Garnacho. And you could play either one of Xerxes or Rasmus Højlund up front. You've got Dorgu and Dalot. either side for wing back, and then you've got a choice of 5 centre backs that are still available for Manchester United. It's not like it's the complete end of the world in terms of having nobody available. We have got plenty to choose from. It's just that them players are not playing well, and that's the problem. So would you bring anyone straight in? Yes, Kone into that midfield. It's going to show if our manager has got anything about him. Can he adjust? Yes, Chido, Fletcher, Kone. Fletcher's not going. Amas, Kone and Obe, says Daz. All good to go in, says United like that. I think this is a lot of United fans just being completely fed up with the situation and just basically throwing these kids in. I'd put myself as left wing back, then play Amas on the left. It's a bit harsh, mate, Nico. I mean, Amas is good going forward. I think he's got issues in defensive departments that are not quite ironed out yet, and I think that's why Ruben hasn't really gone in for Harry Amas. And I think he can do a job. He can come off the bench and rest some of our players up a little bit. Don't see us winning at Spurs at all, says Roddy. Yes, a couple that already play together. Exciting when these lads get a chance. I wouldn't put any new academy players in from the start, says Graham. Disappointed that Jack Fletcher isn't taken too since AMAD is injured. I think that's why Morehouse has gone. I think Ruben has seen Morehouse play. He's been at Carrington when Morehouse has been there. He has been impressed with him. There's been a lot of talk about Ruben talking about Jack Morehouse. He is very, very quick. He has got an eye for goal. He's a very good, creative young player. And he will give something to United. It's whether or not that step is too big. That's the big concern. I didn't know about Agate. Any midfield that will contain Eriksen and Casemiro in it will be completely overrun without doubt. We need legs in there. So yes, I would blood a couple in tomorrow. Confidence levels regarding Casemiro and Eriksen, everybody. Could you let me know? Please talk to me on that one. Are you confident that they can do a job? Just be honest. Don't be because they have been not used this season or they've had bad performances. Are them two players capable of seeing out the rest of the season or being used the rest of the season? Well, actually, no, forget that because we don't know the full extent of Kobe Mainoo and Manuel Agate's injury yet. We only know AMAD. So, apologies. Let's go back on that one. Are they capable of playing against Spurs tomorrow against their midfield? That's what I want to know. Talk to me, everybody, in the chat. Let me know if you are confident with them two players seeing out the game against Spurs. Let me know. Well over 1,000 in the room with us. Please hit that subscribe button and the like button, everybody. Let's cheer ourselves up. Let's have a good old conversation about how we actually see ourselves through this game. Spurs won't know what to expect with the youth, so why not? This United fan base would have not even played the Busby Babes. Not sure. This United fan base would have not played the Busby Babes. Right. Again, different areas. I know what you're saying, Richard. I do. But it is a different era. Completely different game of football. Yes, I'm confident. Eriksen, he's Kevin De Bruyne. Won't go that far. The only player that creates chances. Different. Don't agree. I know what he is, Eriksen. I know he'll do a job for us. I just worry that he won't be able to keep up. And hopefully the injuries aren't too bad. We know that Mainoo's out for a couple to a few weeks. That's what the news was anyway. Manuel Agate, I don't think is too bad, going off what's been said. Don't need the legs if we keep hold of the ball, but if we get overrun, we will suffer, from Rick. Buffalo says, are the youngsters ready for the rough and tumble of the senior side, though? Nobody knows. You never know with academy players until they come into the team and are blooded. Casemiro and Eriksen in midfield as a pair is no longer good enough, and especially against Spurs. Who would you play then? Now it's time to pick our number. Let's pick our two midfielders then, shall we, everybody? Who are the two midfielders? Everyone's worried about Eriksen and Casemiro as a pair. Who are we going to start tomorrow in that midfield pivot? Who are we saying? Thank you. We need to know We need to know a couple of options, please, everybody. Ericsson in the 10, says David. Okay. Mazraoui can play midfield. Yeah, that's something that I was worried about. Bruno and Kone, says Richard. Bruno and Mazraoui. Mazraoui and Bruno. What's the options? Phil Jones, says Boz. Yeah, bring Phil Jones back. He's the one who's been nurturing these academy players through, or not nurturing them, but been part of the coaching setup in the academy recently at under 18 level. Ericsson and Mazraoui, Bruno and Casemiro. Bruno and Casemiro have played a little bit together. Are we not going to go with them? Is that not an option for us? Not sure. Not sure. Mazraoui and Kone, says David. Casemiro and Sekou Kone for me, and put Fernandez at LAM, Garnacho right AM, right left anchor midfield. I get you. Every time any manager tries to get this lot as fit as other Premier League teams, this happens. For F's sake, I give up. Delta's not a happy man. There's a few people in the chat tonight. I can feel the anguish and I can feel the annoyance creeping into him. So does this mean that we are back to a midfield of Casemiro and Ericsson? We're just talking about that, Marty. We know how that ended last time. Hi Adam, my midfield would be Bruno and Morehouse, something different. I would say Morehouse is probably more of a player to go a little bit further forward, to be honest. But I don't know how Ruben's going to play it. I do expect there'll be someone playing out of position. I think there'll be one of the defenders stepping into midfield, personally. I can see the Mazraoui shout. I can see that happening for United. Although I hope he is the sitting player in front of the back line because he isn't good enough going forward. I don't know how he's going to play it unless he changes system, maybe. Risque now all of a sudden, isn't it? Super chat in from Thomas McArdle. Thank you, Thomas. Amorim's goalkeeper coach could do a job. I like that one. Yeah, we could bring him in. Freddie McTominay is beginning to look a bit better now. Casemiro and Mazraoui hold the midfield. Bruno and Ericsson ahead of them as number 10s that give us control of the middle of the pitch. Maybe Ericsson goes into that number 10 role. I just think he's going to be utilised deeper. I really do. I think he will be. I think he'll be playing a different role. I think Collier and Agate have travelled. I think they're major doubts, to be honest, mate. Richard, I don't think they're going to be playing at all. I'm not sure in terms of availability. I mean, if they do, I know that Agate isn't serious. That's one thing we do know. But everybody else, like we've said before, we're not playing well anyway. Collier, I don't think he's a long-term one. We've not heard anything drastic. Mainu, a few weeks. AMAD, the rest of the season. They're the two big bits of news anyway. If you are just joining us, they're the two big injuries. But obviously, AMAD is the major one. Adam, let's be realistic. I think we are so bad, it's going to be a couple of canteen staff in midfield. Okay. Galvatron, how are youth players going to play in Amorim's system? Well, our youth system works better than Amorim right now. So the academy teams work in line with what Ruben Amorim, the head coach of the first team, wants to do. And we do play it a lot better than what the first team do, albeit at under 18s level for all of these players that we're talking about right now. And it is a different step up. The quality does get a little bit too much for some of the academy players. And that's my biggest concern in everything. That's my biggest concern. The problem is it's just not one game playing Casemiro and Ericsson. 3 days for the remainder of the season is not doable. Look, they're not going to be playing. Look, Manuel Agate and Toby Collier are not going to be out forever. Neither is Kobbie Mainu. Kobbie just frustratingly keeps on getting injured at the moment for me. And that is a big issue going forward. But I just feel like right now, with what we've got available, it's like Jonathan says there, should we not just go 4-4-2? 4-4-2 Mike Bassett style and put Xerxes and Højlund up front. I've said Xerxes and Højlund work better as a two together in that Leicester game. That's when we started creating things because they were bouncing off each other. I think that's something that we do need to look at as well. But hey, Look, after this show, we're going to go through over onto Football Talks as well, everybody. We're going to go through all of the games in the Premier League. We're going to talk a big Premier League roundup. Like I said, I wasn't well today, so we didn't do the Soccer Saturday set up today. So we've dosed ourselves up, and we're ready to rock and roll straight after this show right onto Football Talks. But I want to keep going on here. We're just going to prolong it a bit to give you your chance to have your say and get your comments in on this one, everyone. Could be a blessing in disguise. Now get the youth players in. At least they'll run and press the opposition. United Spotlight, we ain't be any worse anyway. Can we not, like these players, Bar AMAD, have been performing? Is it? I don't know. That seems to be a few typos in there, mate. Sorry, come back on that one. Maino is still growing pains. You can see his body has changed since last season. All young players go through this phase. All of the younger players do get injuries when they're young. I know this. Collier injured. Mainu injured. It's hard to handle. Some players get through it, some players don't. Problem is for all Manchester United players, none of them didn't get through it. Adam, I still believe we can win tomorrow. A United fan never gives up. I still believe we can come back from Tottenham's 6-1 defeat still till whistle went. Oh, right, so you were believing that we could come back from a 6-1 deficit that time that we got dicked by them at Old Trafford. I get you, mate. No, it's not over. It's not. Like, we've got enough to beat Spurs tomorrow, but again, it's like the temperament and the professionalism in this side. Is it there? That's what we're asking right now. Is there enough there? Terrible that United thought that Tell was too expensive to bring on loan. He was too expensive to bring on loan. That's why we didn't. And I back that decision. There's no way that we were going to pay what Bayern Munich wanted to then let him go back. And we weren't going to pay for him long term. I think Mainu's injuries have been made worse because Erik ten Hag played him too much. Could be a point, Veronica. A lot of people picked up on that one last season, overplaying the younger players, definitely. The positive thing is that young players are not damaged by this bad attitude and will run and give everything. Yeah, well, we will see. It could also go the opposite way, and the atmosphere, the intensity, the strength, the physicality could be too much for them, and it could really affect their confidence. I know that's looking down the doom and gloom sort of road, and that's why I said at the top of the show, it's up to these senior players. If indeed we do see any academy players tomorrow, these senior players need to step up and lead this team. They need to show some character tomorrow. And if they don't, then nobody is going to be looking at any academy player with any sort of disappointment at all. All we're going to do is look right down at the source, which is the first team players again, because there's enough international players on that side tomorrow, despite the injuries that we've got, to beat Spurs. And it's no excuse at all. I still think United, I'm gutted that AMAD is out, but I'm only gutted that AMAD is out for the season, not tomorrow, because we still have enough to beat Spurs. And we shouldn't even be using AMAD's injury as an excuse for that game tomorrow. AMAD's issue, and what we've got with AMAD, is that he's out now till the rest of the season. And he has been one of the more consistent players within Manchester United. That's the problem we've got with him anyway. Nothing else. Not tomorrow. He might not have even started tomorrow. We don't know what Amorim was going to be doing. So, no, I'm not concerned about tomorrow's game for AMAD. I'm concerned that we have to put a makeshift midfield in all of a sudden, and we're having to draft players in because we haven't got 9 first-team players available for us for one game. So, let's just see what happens from there. But, look, that is the show all done and wrapped up, everybody. Just want to say a massive thank you again. We went a little bit earlier, obviously, with the breaking news and everything going on around AMAD's injury. If you are just joining us, I'm sure you've seen the news already. AMAD is out for the rest of the season with an ankle injury picked up in training. There are also knocks to Collier, Kobbie Mainoo and Manuel Ugarte. Kobbie Mainoo is out for a couple to a few weeks. Manuel Ugarte and Collier may not be that bad. And our big major doubts for tomorrow. But it doesn't look like we are going to be losing them for a significant amount of time. Not like AMAD anyway. But yes, it is still concerning for tomorrow's game. And we don't really know who's going to line up for Manchester United tomorrow. That's the honest truth. It could be anyone tomorrow, but hey, that is that. Let's just quickly go into the poll before we finish. Do we start with youth or experience tomorrow? Youth has taken the vote on 66%. 34% of you say experience. We will be flying across to Football Talks right now to go over all of the Premier League action and what has gone down today. So please do join us over there and continue the conversation there. But for Forever United TV for now, please do hit that subscribe button, everybody. Make sure you give this video a like on the way out. And I will see you all over on Football Talks. Thank you, everybody. Mods and members for helping out in the chat as always. Have a good one, people.